Wait for all this to catch up. At least I've got it all set up. Just realised I can actually do this with the tool there. Right, so this is not really going to be... Well, it is and it isn't going to be a stream about modding shit. So I've been not busy working on my mods like I'm supposed to be. And I've been writing a little tool to help with that. Because I absolutely hate doing hex coding. If anybody's ever tried to mod these games, you'll understand that hex coding is the only way to do half the shit you want to do. So I've been writing a little utility tool that I've been kind of showing here and there and everywhere. So this is kind of like unveiling the tool, but it still has a lot of tweaking I have to do to it. So what you're looking at is Bio2 Scripter. And it literally is a tool that is so basically easy you don't have to understand hex to use it, which is what my original intention was. Kind of started working on this potential idea a long time ago when I started doing all the modding I did back in the day, and then lost all interest doing it when I went into burnout mode with it. So you could say about 12 years later I finally got the tool up and running properly and got it actually working. So what this tool that you do at the moment is it lets you adjust AOT triggers. So it lets you do like door enemies, items and messages and stuff. So I'm going to try and go through like what this tool can do. Then I'm going to be releasing this to a few people so they can piss around with it, give me feedback for it, and then I can keep going back in and adjusting and working on the tool as I see fit. So basic functionality of this is it's not going to be some advanced scripting tool. You're not going to be doing cutscenes with it for fucking ages, because until I can figure out how to understand the scripting language and how to implement that as a simple button press, and no fucker has to be like, why is not this script working? Why is this if statement not working? Why is this check statement not working when I fucking need it to? This is the reason why I'm doing this tool, because if I have to ever look at anything like that and it doesn't work, I am going to tear hair out, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to go over the items first, primarily because... Oh, I see, you're going to do it that way because everything's an individual form. You shit. Right, hang on then. Let me try and get some more window captures up. You swine. So let me throw another window capture in. Oh, there you go. And I need to put that behind me because for some strange reason it starts it up there. Hang on a sec. So, yeah. So item AOT is basically your item triggers in a room. So it's basically your weapons, your items, your puzzle items and everything else. So the way I want to do these tools was simplified as hell. I want them to be easy. I want people to be able to just, you know, who've never done modding before, to just basically look at the tool, do some typing with it, and then they can kind of generate what they want. And they can do modding without all this advanced hex bullshit that, you know, when people look at it, they run a mile. Which is why a lot of people don't take up modding these games, because there's so much shit involved with the scripting aspect of it, and you're looking at hex. A lot of hex at the time. So again, this is simplified. So for example, if I want to bring up the whole bunch of, say, weapons, I just go items. And as you can see, I've made it so that it brings up every item, every weapon in the game. So this is obviously for Leon Claire's things, but this is every weapon in the game. It's done visually, because for me, I work visually as an artist, so I see everything as art. I don't see zeros and ones, bloody 0As, 4400s, and 2C bollocks, because, you know, that's not what an artist sees. We see things as the characters, we see things as the weapon models, we see things as whatever inside the, you know, the 3D environment we're working in. We don't see it as hex. That's all going on behind. That's all the code going on behind. We don't like seeing stuff like that. I can't see stuff like that. People can read it like the Matrix. I can't. I'll admit that. So, the idea is like with this, you're visualizing what you can see, then you just put the bloody stuff in. So say I wanted to put the ammo in, there's all the ammo. I mean, I've done it for everything, so there's all the keys in the game. Leon's puzzle items, Claire's, and the miscellaneous that they all share, because obviously they all share these particular items between them, so it's not just, you know, whatever the hell it is. So one of the things I wanted to do with the tool, again, is to make it so user-friendly that anybody could use it. Because when you're looking at, say, an item trigger, like I've got it loaded in here, you don't know what the fuck it is. Because you'll look at it the first time, you'll think, well, what the fuck's this doing? What does that represent? What does that hex represent? What does this, that, and the other fucking represent? And you could write an entire fucking tool suite that could say, well, this is what it represents. But to me, that's still going to piss me off, because I'll be looking at it and thinking, can you not just simplify it to be like, it just fucking says what it says, rather than fucking having to have an advanced degree in programming to understand it, or having your brain having to be reprogrammed itself to understand it. I'm going to rant a lot about programming in this, because I've been fucking programming all week. So anyway, I'm going to go over item triggers with this, and then go over each one. So basically, operation code within weapons here, I'll have to change and tweak this around eventually. That puts in the operation codes. The OP code is 4E for an item. And then for your dummies, obviously you press that, it puts the dummies already in. It's as simple as that. It's button presses. You don't have to fucking press anything or type shit in. It just does it on a button press because it knows what it is. So there's that. So I'm going to go over this all and then hopefully get an idea of what it is and how it's supposed to work. So 4E is obviously representing an item. So like weapons, bullets, keys, miscellaneous items, puzzle items, any of that is all in there. So then you'll have all these like commands up here, all these different like boxes, and these boxes represent the byte offsets that the game uses. And it's the hex code that's in those bytes that represents all these little bits that you're seeing. So operation code is for op code, whatever you want to call it, it's 4E. And then you got the ID. Now the ID is what it is in the room. So I'm going to put this as 01. So that's got the ID of 01. The floor value is whatever the hell the floor value is for whatever in the room, and I've been learning a lot about that lately. So I put this as 00, so that's standard floor. You got your attach functions to stuff. It can go under a different name, but that's what can trigger it. So the player, enemy, your partner characters, if you've got them in there. We're going to set this to 00. So that's the attach function to the character. That's me just showing the basic stuff off. So you got all this code here. So obviously, X position, your Z position is what it is in the game space. I wish I'd put the bloody game open now, and I could kind of. Well, the idea was I was supposed to put it in, and I was going to build the concierge room from Gaiden. So this is kind of like a project style, like going into RET, you know, RET modding stuff. But I thought, start with the tool, let people see what the tool can do, and then if you want to push on with that in the stream, I'll do it. So your X position, your Z position, obviously is 2 bytes for each position, which is where it is in 2D space, X and Z. In the games, obviously, you know, in the game space for the room, you've got your X and Z positions of stuff. And you can bring that up in Classic Rebirth by pressing F6, and then you've got it in Bio2 GPS if you use that. I use Bio2 GPS and I use both, but it's whatever mood I'm in. So you just basically type those, you know, bits of data ring, and then you got your X and your Z width. Now I know I've put it in here, so obviously you can see I've just pressed it and it's filled it in. That's just a standard generic number I've given it, but you can also see that the actual text boxes are unlocked, so you can just type whatever the hell you want in there. You don't even have to have that. But you'll also notice again with the dummies, the items locked. Those two are locked as well, because obviously the dummies, and the animations locked as well. And the simple reason why the item in itself in that particular byte is locked is because you press the button to put the byte in yourself, because you're picking the item you want. So say for example I wanted to, I don't know, let me just say shove some shotgun shells in there. You'll see it's now turned to 15 because that's what the hex code is for 15 for the shotgun shells in a room. I'm going to say put 14 in as the amount. So that'll be 14 shells in all. And then you've got your item flags now. I've learnt a lot about item flags, and let me just say they've stressed me out trying to understand how to make an event happen in-game by pressing something. or by having an item picked up, or by having an item in inventory, and it's all done via the item flag you give it. So I'm just going to give that a generic 00, and then you're left with the model ID. So the model ID is whatever is in the room's model data. When you extract a room with like BioClone, or you do it with BioFat, it extracts it in a folder, and it will be called object. And in that object folder will be MD1 files, which are the model formats for the weapons and items that are in a room. So like the diaries, the bullets, and what have you. So you just basically make that whatever number that is for that. So I'm just going to say that's 02. And as you can also hear, it will only let you type in 2 bytes, because that's what all these things do. Hello. Kind of just going on with the tool, but this is how it works. I'm just slowly like going over the tool, because I will be like giving a few people this to test soon, because I just need to get feedback on it, then I'll cry about it. So I'll tell you what I'll do, because I need to show that one as well. I'm just going to quickly bring up the hex program, but I'm not going to show it yet. So say for example I wanted to put this position for, what did I put it for? Shotgun shell. Say I wanted to put it in a certain position. So what I'll do is I will say, in terms of the 3D space, I want to put it at say 1500. So that'll obviously give me the exposition of 05 DC. So I'll just put that in there and do that. So that gives me that position. And say for Z, I don't know, 7800 maybe. So that'll give me the hex code of 1E78. So I just put that in, 1E78. That there is almost done, because I still need to put animation in. So in the animation tab, you've got like every type of animation that you can do. So like with me, I'll just do no glim with kneel, so your character will kneel on the floor to pick it up. I could have it as nothing at all, it's just like say it's on top of a table, it doesn't need to be a glimmer, you can see it, but that sort of thing. So then all you'd have to do is hit the generate code on there, and as you can see it's generated an entire set of code there, and that is the script. That's in hex. That's the hex data for a shot. There, that is the hex data for a set of shotgun shells with 14 rounds with no flag, and that's basically the character just picking off the top of a table. It doesn't need a glimmer. So it's that sort of thing. You can see it. It's set to that model set, and that's how I try to simplify this tool, because it tells you at the top what it represents. So if you ever get lost with any of the code, you just look at it and think, oh, it's that floor. That's the ID that's going to be in the room. That needs to be the X and Z width. And as long as you keep within that, you'll understand it. But you also notice that it is locked as well. You can't copy and paste any of the code like from the box. So that's why there's now a copy button in. So I'm just going to quickly boot this up and quickly make another window with it. Or I'll just switch to that one quickly. So as you can see, we're now in Hex HD, which is a hex program. I'll just make new, and I'll just do Control V, and there is an object AOT implemented. Shotgun shells, like I said, 15 rounds, I think, no, 14 it was in. Using the model ID, which is in the folders, like I said, of 2, because it probably would be 2. I don't know. It's whatever it is for yours, and that's basically a shotgun shell AOT trigger. That's the thing about these tools. Like I said, they're very straightforward when I wanted them, because I wanted them to be user friendly. So say I wanted to fuck that and say I want ink ribbons, so you can see the item, because I'm not. Let me just go back. There we go. Right, so as you'll see now, I'll just go back to it. So shotgun shells, see how it says 15 in the item, hit ink ribbons, it's now 1E. I want to set that to say, I'll just say 2, just like the standard 2R. Say it uses the same model ID as the shotgun shells. Now of course I can't think of anything in space to do this with, so what I'm going to do is just set that to 02, because obviously ID 01 would be the shells. We don't want them overwriting it. I need to change the position of this now, so I'm gonna have to go back into my hex program. So this is just random numbers. It's not even in a room. I'm just showing how this actually works. So I'm gonna put these at 5,000. So that's 1388. So I'm gonna put 1388 in there for the X-Boss. And for the Z position, let's say, I don't know, say 150. Maybe 1,200 actually. So that'd be what, 04 BO. So I just want to do BO in there. So that's now a different item altogether. I just click generate, and as you can see, the code updates. It just updates as you're doing it because that's the way I wanted it. And then again, I just want to hit the copy button. I'll just throw Hex HD again. I know I should just have it its own thing, but let's just face it, I can't be bothered just doing that at the minute. And then I'm just gonna go, and there's two item AOT triggers in a room. Now whether they bloody work when I do any compiling, I don't know, but this is just me showing how easy it is to do. So there you go. So each one's obviously separate. So that's 4E01, 4E02. So that's items. That's basically how items work in this. I think this was done as error processing as well. So say for example, you accidentally, I don't know, put a symbol in like that, if I remember correctly. Oh no, I didn't do it for this one because I still have to do error processing with this. So I'll show error processing in a minute with a different one. But error processing is in the process of being added into all the different forms because this is all multiple instances of forms I'm doing. So the next one I'm going to implement or show will probably be, let's do item box. The item box one is a piece of piss. It's so easy to look at, and I think people appreciate it just a bit because it's pretty straightforward how it works. So I'll just make it a little bit bigger so you can see what I mean. So to do typewriters or save points or anything in a room, it's a save room, it requires obviously two sets of triggers. That's the typewriter and the item box itself. So again, this is all simplified, and you can actually see obviously a lot more of the thing now because it's a small box. There isn't really a lot going on in here. But so basically, again, you've got your operation code for it, the ID it uses in the room, the type it's going to be, the attach function, X and Z position, X and Z width again. Again, some of the boxes can't be touched, some of them can't be modified, so how do we do this one? Because I said I want to make it simplified. You just press either one of these and it does all the code. So there is a typewriter. Set to 03 because that's the ID it's been designated as now if we're going with room. So in terms of the with trigger command I've given it, again it's just a generic one. It's just something I've put in because I've tried to mimic what I've seen in other vanilla rooms in games, in the game itself. That can be easily modified to whatever though. What should we give this X-Boss? I really don't know. Let me figure out an idea. Let's try and put this in like a triple digit. Let's do it. It's say 17,500 in the X. So that's 44.5C. So we'll put 44.5C in there. I need to also do error processing in that. If you try to put an X in, it's not going to bloody work because there's no X in hex code. Try to say that 3 times, right? So the Z position. Let's say it's, I don't bloody know, 6,500 maybe. So 1964. Does that sound right for the hex? I know this does do hex correctly, so I'm going with what it's saying. So then obviously again, hit the generate button. There's your typewriter with the ID, the attach function obviously for the player to pick it up. the X and Z positions in the room, the width of the trigger in the X and Z, and all the other options already filled in, so you don't have to worry about it. Did I grab the copy command from that? I can't remember. Well, I'm going to copy it anyway. Switch back over to... Why is it not showing Hex HD with that now? Well, that's very confusing, isn't it? Oh, there it is. Right. So, back into it all again. Ooh, it looks bigger now, actually, doing it that way. And just paste the code in. So, currently, we've got a room with 14 shotgun shells at a position where you just have to pick them off a desk. You don't even have a glimmer or anything with it, or bow down to pick up with your knees. We've also got a set of ink ribbons, which is the same process. That's on a table somewhere. And now we've also got a typewriter in the room at those positions, ready to use ink ribbons on. You can see we're building a save room, and you can see the code in there, and you can obviously see it visually because you're building it in the tool. So, let's carry on with this, shall we? Get a few more ideas out there. So, let me just shut these commands down for now. So the next one I'll show is, say, the message one, because that's a small bloody one, so we might as well get that one out of the way. So there we go. So the message one, you can see it's pretty straightforward. It's not rocket science or anything. I think I actually did error processing on this one, but I'll look at it now so I can see. So again, operation code, just put it in, put the dummy data in, that's that done. Now the special is like when you click on a trigger, like a bit of text or what have you in game, it's like, what can you do in it? Can you still move when you triggered it? Can you not move and everything else works when you've triggered it? But it moves with a fade or the original mode, so we'll go with FF as original mode. Again, the whips I've implemented are temporary. It's something I saw. You can modify that to whatever you want. Obviously, the type is a text trigger, so that's now the information put in. So 03 was the last one, so we'll put that 04. Floor being 00, attachment 00. I don't think I've done much for special properties yet, but I haven't really looked into that, so I'm going to set 00. I'm deliberately going to break this because I'm pretty sure I did it with this one. So dash 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 at yeah, and I'm just going to put the messages right, and there we go. Error processing has also been implemented with some of these because, let's face it, we're all butterfingers when we come to typing. We're going to fuck up eventually. I know I've done it so much with this. So as you can see, it brings up a little notice box that just basically says, look, there's special characters here. This isn't hex. Fix it, please. So, and it'll tell you exactly which ones needs fixing. So again, it said XPOS1. So XPOS1 needs fixing because it's got 2 dashes. That's not hex. It's going to sit for XPOS2 because, again, 2 dashes, not going to work. And you can probably guess the other ideas. It's showing everything up. And of course, message, it's like, what the hell are you trying to do? Although this one still generates the code. Yeah. I need to do some... I think it is the if-else looping in there. I have got it fixed with others. I think I might have just implemented the fact that it needed the error processing, but never actually made it so that after the error processing, do not generate text until this is all fixed, because it does work. I'll have to put it in when I know it works. I'm pretty sure the door triggers do it. So I'm not gonna go over this because everybody knows X and positions, Z positions, and all this if you're working with it, and I've gone over it so many times with your other tool. So the message is what I want to get into. So the message bit in this note, in this program, is obviously the same for the code that you use when you're typing it in hex. So it's whatever the message is in the message files when you extract them from the room. So I know I've done one where it's a sub message and it's number 15. So as long as the 15 is there, it will load up that one particularly. I'm just gonna put random numbers in here that are not gonna make a single bit of sense. 1422 or maybe 142C, I don't know. Or 0C, let's put that in there. So now obviously I've hit generate, no errors because again it's taking code, no symbols. I won't copy that because I don't know what the hell that would do. Yeah. But let's see again, so that's a message trigger. So it's going to be using this ID in the room. It's going to be on this particular floor. Like if say you wanted it on floor 4, say you climb a flight of stairs, like I've been begrudgingly learning about and hating so much, say you wanted it to go there. So you generate it, so it's now going to be on the 4th floor. Because it all works in end floors and shit. And as long as it's up on that floor and it's in the position on the X and width and whatever, it will trigger that event. It will trigger this text, this length, and it will trigger that message that's in the RDT itself. Special property I've not really looked into, but it is in there. And it won't obviously stop executing it until you press the buttons, so you can't move, enemies can't move, everything else. Standard message trigger, done. Quickly get rid of that one. Oh, look at that, we've now got 2 of them. Oh, it's because 2 of them are running on the bloody thing. Oh. Right. So I think the next one we'll do is door. And you're not looking at the door, are you? You're just being a pain in the ass. Try the door one, that's it. I think I might need to make this one just a little bit smaller though, because there's quite a lot on the screen for this one. It's one of the bigger panels I've got. Yeah, still need to push it in a bit. And I still need to push it in a bit. And I still need to push it in a bit because this is 32 bloody bytes, isn't it? This is like 32 byte bloody freaking horrifying thing. Yeah. I think I've got it in there. Yeah, it's fine. Push it in a little bit. So basically this is your door triggers. So this is the sort of stuff, you know, you go into, you put a door in, you walk to it, you do the door loading sequence, you jump to a different room and you're at that position. So this is all shown in here. But I wanted to make this a little bit more interesting. So what I've done is, if you go into the door one, I've split them all into individual sections. So click wooden doors, there's all the wooden doors in the game. Metal, all the metal doors in the game. Stairs, and the miscellaneous ones, so like vents, bus door, lab doors for the elevator, the lift, ladders, you name it, it's all there. I've put it all in there for it. So, like, one of the pains in the arses with this, and, you know, doing door triggers or any form of triggers again, is you don't have a visual representation of what it is you're looking at. So that's why all of these are in buttons. So you press a button, it just spawns the door, it just puts it in the code for you. Let's make it easy. So I'm just gonna go, right, give me my stars office door. So it's already there in the door, as you can see, the door in the new room. So that is gonna be the door that it opens up with in the door loading sequence. Again, the operation code and dummies are all there. They should really be in different things, but this is how I was building it. So I'm going to set that to 04, because it's a door trigger. It'll obviously be on the floor 0. Attach function is 0. You know all the X positions stuff, Z positions, and all that crap that you need to do for this, but there's a whole lot of other things you have to take into consideration with these, because you've got the X coordinates for the next room, the Y ones, the Z, and the rotation. Again, I'm not going to type any of that. That's for guys to play test with and obviously look at the GPS, and so that's where this needs to be, that needs to be. Then you just relay it to this and put it in. But then obviously you've got the stage. So what I've done here is I've compiled all the stage data. So all these in here in the box, this is every single room from the game that's usable. And then say, for example, I want this door trigger to be, it's going to trigger me into, say, the cabin. So I'll be looking at 00 for the stage, and the room number is 06, because that's the cabin. as you can see there. The cam cut I haven't put in, simply because every room's got a max cam cut of 16, and each one's going to be different depending on what the camera like is and where it's going to be when you spawn. So from 1 to 16 you can put whatever you want in there, so I'm just going to put 0 2. The floor, it's going to be the same if it's a ground floor room and not about 6 floors up, so that'd be 0 0. The log flag, I'm just going to set to 0 0. Now there's a few other confusing things I'm going to throw in here because they needed to be implemented in this as well, and it's only because I was looking at it and thinking, shit, I need to put them in. So for example, we need to know the door direction, so there's a couple of buttons that let you do that. So you'll just look at the door flag, you'll see it now gets a door flag, so that's now saying I want it to open leftwards, I want it to open rightwards, and in case of ladders and lifts and doors that go up, it goes up or down. But we're going to have it going left. You can also see that there's something called 2 door opening and 1 door opening. I was going to put this in a separate section again, and I'm going to probably do that at some point. So basically, 2 door, 1 door. 1 door is going to be just 1 door loading in the loading sequence, and 2 doors, double doors, just like the RPD's main doors. The 2 blue doors in the east part of the precinct. Anyway, whatever you decide with it, and if you put the 0 2 in, you're going to get 2 of it, and it's going to open randomly. There'll be some other flag I need to look into, probably knowing my friggin' luck, because I have to do it with half the stuff I've been doing. So I'm going to set this to 1 door. As you can see, it's set to 0. You've noticed that the key requirement is locked. I need to put 1 more thing in there, not 0, because I've put the door keys in. At the minute, it only covers actual door keys themselves. It only covers the keys and not, say, if you wanted to unlock a door with an ink ribbon. So I'll put that in the crazy misc section when I get to that point. Oh yeah, it's unlock a door with a handgun, because that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Stick the handgun in the fucking thing and just twist and door unlocks. Like Code Veronica puzzles all over again, innit? So, say in this instance, I want it to be, I don't know, it can only be unlocked with the cabin key. Which is ironic because we're in the cabin, so let's do it with, say, the club key. So you'll see now that the key required is 5C, which is what the club key is in Hex, so that's that done. Now, I'm bloody sure that this is the one I did the error processing on, and it will not generate it until you fix it. Let me just test this because I want to see if it's true. So I'm just going to go... Like I said, it only supports 2 bytes, so you can't go over it or less than it. I should really do that as it needs more if it's less than. But I'll get to that point. So let me just do this. Let me see if it works. Yeah. So again, say special characters detected. Please remove them. So this is XPOS 1, XPOS 2, and the ZPOS is X width, Y width. All the different bytes that need to be modified, which is all the ones I've just done as dashes. And it's generating the text. Which one have I done where it does not generate the text until you fix it? I know I've done it with one of them. I just can't remember which one. But yeah, so the gist of it is that's creating a door trigger. It's straightforward. So like obviously if I wanted to do it as like, alright, I want to do 2 doors, I want to do the RPD main doors, that's the RPD main doors right there, but I want to lock them, and the only way you can unlock them is with the diamond key. Then it sets it up as a lock flag. There's the key requirement there. Lock flags, there's something I need to look into with that. That's why I've left it unlocked, so you can put whatever frigging code in there you want to do. Because some of them, you know, it's going to be manual. You'll need to understand some hex code to undo it. But the majority of the work's done. Because again, you don't have to worry about the operation code or OP code or whatever. Or the dummies. Because, you know, you could be looking at it, you'll mistype it and you'll fuck it up. And eventually, instead of spawning a door, you spawn an enemy instead. But with this, it can't happen. It's foolproof. It will automatically fill that code in to represent a door, and then when you copy and paste it out, it will be a door. It will not change to an enemy. It will not let you do anything with it. And if you cock up inside of here, like you've seen, the error processes it, be like, no, this needs to be changed because it's just a special value. It's no hex in it. It needs to be 2. I need to make another one for error processing, and that it needs 2 for each one. So I'm going to have to do something to do with the length, which I don't want to be doing today. I've done enough coding with this bloody thing. I've lost so much insanity trying to do this. I swear. It's just going back through different ones anyway. So right, I'm trying to think what's the last one I've got to show. I think that's all of them, isn't it? I've gone through the message, the item box, the item, the door. So I'll throw up the enemy data, well, EMD. But I need to explain a bit about this because I'm still working on this. So it doesn't actually work. Because there's still a few offsets I need to understand. I need to know how I'm going to implement them. So none of this is currently working, and it only works for certain enemies, and even I don't think they're correct, so I'm needing to look at it. But basically the idea is, as I'll just quickly show you, so I've got a zombie cop there, and I'm not sure if the sound set would be 10, but I'm pretty sure it is for a zombie cop. So enemies there, operation code and dummies are all set up, so it's going to be an enemy. It'll probably have the ID of 05 because it's the enemy there. What the hell was entity? Friggin' hell, we went over this. Oh, there was so much stuff to go over with this one. So as you can see, there's pause, animations and stuff. So the pause for zombies, see how crawling on the floor. You can see the pause has been set to 03, so he's going to crawl around rather than be standing. Now T select, again, this is why it's unlocked, because there's only certain zombies that can do texture selection, and that's the group of them. So they switch between the 3 individual textures that are on the texture sheet. So obviously Zombie Cop's only got 1 texture set, so that's 00. Kill flag again is 00, but I think they're all different kill flags for these enemies. But if you do it to FF, they continually respawn, so 1 hit kill basically. It's dead, it's not going to get back up. X and Y positions, and Z. It's self-explanatory, I don't have to go over any of that anymore. Rotation, again, you get that from like Bio2 GPS or from Classic Rebirth by pressing F6, and it'll bring the debug data up and you can see rotation. I think rotation, and that's all in decimals, so again, because I've just wrote the tool for this, you can just put the decimal in, it converts it to hex, and you just type the hex in. Because I didn't want to be copying and pasting that, because that's just drove me insane. This thing, I'm not sure what it means yet. It's something to do with how you can specify animations to do stuff. I've not looked into animations, so I'm just going to leave all 3 of them as 0000. Again, you can see I haven't even got a copy button implemented, because again, I'm not really going to be putting this in the release because I'm not comfortable with the code yet with enemies. Well, it's entities in it. I'd say it's entity model and stuff, because Sherry's not an enemy. Irons technically isn't, they're just like NPCs, but they have obviously the EMD versions of them, and that's what applies to them, whereas the PLDs are the players, and blah blah blah. But again, as you can see, it's all buttons, it's all showing what the enemy is, so you know exactly what it is. So, you know, a zombie cop here, so you know this is a zombie cop. I think I've done it with the female zombie, so if I press that, yeah. So now it's a female zombie that's crawling on the floor. Obviously no texture selection for that one. Yes, but she's not an enemy, as in you cannot point a gun and shoot at her in-game. She's an entity that can be loaded. How dare you, promote murdering her children in a game? Oh, she's an enemy, we can shoot her. She's totally the bad guy in this all. I don't care what people say, she's evil. Yeah, it's an enemy, as in it would be put in as the enemy data, but she's not technically an enemy in my eyes. She's an entity. Because for all we know, enemy, EMD could be enemy data, but it could be entity data too, entity model data, because these are all entities that are in a room. It's just that obviously you got more enemies than you have NPCs, so you can't have Kendo as an enemy. You can't shoot at you unless somebody's going to come in and go, actually, yes, he can shoot at you. You just got to script it about 600 million sub-bloody fucking things, and then it all works, but no thanks. No thanks, I'm not doing that shit. I'll put it in, but like I said, it's very basic. It probably won't work as well as it's supposed to, because I'm still trying to understand how some of these things work in terms of the bytes. And I'm leaving Birkins completely out because fuck trying to figure out bosses. I can get it so it spawns after that. It's on you to do whatever you want with it. So as you'll see, it does give you the code there as well, but I haven't done a copy thing. And again, this is because I haven't really put much effort into this at the minute. Fuck it, I'm not like looking at offsets. Hey, let's just try and spawn Birkin. What do you mean he's fucking killed me? What do you mean he's just standing there doing nothing? What the fuck? I don't want to make it simplified, but I need to look into enemies a bit more, entities and everything else. I understand it for these if you want to make the characters walk. Oh, this one gets what I mean. Exactly. You know, you'd understand how the AI works because you'd be writing it. But, nah, we have a soft spot for these games, don't we? We like to tell stories because Capcom won't tell any more in Raccoon, so we'll do it. So yeah, it's still being worked on, but eventually you'll just press everything and it'll generate it, and then you won't be able to obviously modify any of this. Then just paste the code in, and then it'll spawn an enemy in the room. I should just really look at what I've got in my rooms and then just go, right, oh, that's what I need to do, and this is what I need to do, and fucking fix it. But again, it's all simplified. It's all simplified. It's all easy to do. I'm not trying to make it too over, like, bearing and like, well, you just need to type this and type that, and oh, you might need to put this up. Fucking push the button and it gives you the offset. It does it for you. That's the idea behind these little tools I've been writing. So the last one I need to show, and it's the one that I think needs a little bit more work, but it's the one I hated coding so much, is this stupid little bloody thing. So this is the hex conversion thing. So yes, it does work. It does bring it up, so if I put 15 here, it's going to come up with 1F, because, oh, well, 0F, because that's what fucking 15 is in hex. So again, it does work, but like, I'm not going to show because I still need to fix the fucker. You put a negative value in, it puts about 4 Fs in front of it, and then gives you the actual value, because I need to pass it through bloody certain things, and getting this to fucking work's been a goddamn pain in the ass. Because you'd think, oh, it should be easy to write this. Exactly. It can do minus numbers, but like I said, say I want to do minus 30,000. So it's there. It's going to bring it up with FFFF 8ADO, which is what it is, but then you've got the 4 Fs in front of it. So all I have to technically do is obviously pass it through. So it's going to be like, don't put FFFF there. Just give me these 4 fucking bytes at the end, because that's all I need. But it does work in that regard. So it can be done with it. It can do negatives. It's just, I need to make it so this doesn't appear. But you can use the fucker. And that's taken me about 3 freaking days to figure out. How do we pass it through? Oh, we could do it like this. Oh, but you could do it this way, but you could do it that way. Doesn't fucking work. So I must have gone through 4 different ways to try and get this fucking decimals, these decimals into fucking hex. Does not work. Now it does. Unfortunately, you get the 4 Fs of Doom and then the actual code for it. But it works because it's giving it out purest hex. This is the hex in its purest form without any of the other bullshit added on. So it's just a case of figuring it out from there. But I'll dabble with it, fix it somehow, cry a little bit when it doesn't work correctly, and be like, "Hey, is that fucking working because of that one offset, you bastard." What happens when you go from programming several hundred years ago and then you sort of slowly go back into it, and instead of it being CPP, you're in C#, and it's a completely different ball game. But the num to hex works. It's just obviously it's giving you in pure hex, so that's what it is actually in pure hex. That's what it's supposed to be. But for the game's benefit, it's not going to accept 4 Fs and then the actual value. So it's like, see, it'll look through parsing and just change the code a bit, but I'm not fucking doing it now. Again, it took me 3 days to figure it out. CPP's programming. Yes, you come to C# and then try and understand why I hate it so much, but at the same time understand it a lot better than C++. Or Java. Or assembly, because I had to do assembly years ago. Let's just try and write a program in assembly and watch it all go fucking insane. But yeah, it's like I say, it covers everything. I mean, well, not everything, because it doesn't let you script cutscenes. It doesn't. The idea is I am going to start implementing other things into it, because I want it to be just a very basic utility tool that you can just use. And instead of like having to write fucking code, you just press buttons and it just fucking automates the process. Don't have to worry about what an if check is or a compare value is. It will just do it for you. And then it'll just let you generate the code, and then you just copy and paste it in, and then you generate it in the game, and then fucking works. Well, that's the idea. And like I said, I've gone over every tool, but I'm still trying to remember which ones. It automates the process a lot quicker, and because you can visualize it, which is what I wanted to do originally. You know what you're putting into it. You know that you're going to have one of the gems there. It's going to be at this position. It's going to be locked or what have you. It's going to have this flag. It's like a door. You might have that locked, so you need the red gem in your inventory to actually unlock the door, because I'm a crazy bastard and people want that kind of thing. So that'll be like another thing I'll probably add in later. But yeah, I'm going to... Do I even want to attempt to try and do this in a mod? I don't want to try and do this with a mod, you know. I'll cry a little bit if I have to. Oh, is this going to be just the shortest stream ever? I think I will just end the stream in a minute after I've gone over this. It was just a case of showing this off. So it, again, these tools, why am I trying to click that? I'm clicking the program, not the, oh my god, the confusion. So again, it is... Yeah, I like to think of it as a Swiss Army tool. You know, you can do other things, but I'm trying to remember which one I did as error processing. What did I... Was it the item box? Did I do the item box as error processing first? Let me have a look. Because there is error processing in. I specifically put error processing in some of the tools because if you screw it up, it will tell you you've screwed up, and then it just won't generate anything for you until you fix it. I'm pretty sure, did I do it with this one? Let me try. Let me just do it. Let me have a look. Do it the item box. Set that to dash. See if it works. You just fucking did this, didn't you? Okay. Which one did I put error processing on? You bastard! It does do error processing. I can assure you, you've seen it happen, but it doesn't generate anything in here until you fix whatever the hell it is you've buggered up in here. And after you've done that, it will generate the code. Except I can't remember which bloody one I've put it in. I've only just compiled this to show. What one was it? It wasn't the enemy. Could it be the message? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. No, it isn't this one, is it? I mean, I know it'll say it and it'll come up on the screen. Oh wait, it won't show it, will it? Because it's on the screen, right? So, hang on a minute. I'll show you what I mean. So, like, it's going to show up like with this generic little message thing that I've put in as error processing. So it's obviously saying that it's a special character detected because I've just typed dashes in. So it's basically saying, again, these need removing, put in what it's supposed to be. Same for that. So now it's saying the floor because it's just all dashes. It's not going to do anything. Xpos 2. It's error processing. So if you do bugger up, it's going to tell you you're buggering up. Please don't. And it doesn't generate. So this one is the one that does it. Right. That's good to know. I knew I did it with one of them. Let me get this back one up in there then. So it is this one. So Message AOT does work in error processing. I've just shown you there. So you can see it's all different like dashes and stuff. So it's not actual code. Yes. So as you can see, I've just hit the generate button because it's saying like there's special characters detected, remove them in certain ones. It will not generate the code. And it won't generate the code until this is all fixed. So it's a foolproof program in a sense that you can put whatever you're into it, and if it doesn't like the code, it doesn't like what you try to put into it, it will tell you. So you can go back and fix it. And then obviously click generate, click copy, copies your clipboard, paste it into your hex program, and that's a fresh trigger for it. So that's all the tool sets I've got so far. Excuse me. There will be a few people getting this just for testing, because obviously I want to see, you know, what people can do with it. And obviously once I've got the feedback from that and I've dabbled a bit more with it, I'll release it in public. People have got a test for it then, and then hopefully people who've never modded these games before can just sit there, piss out an entire room, minus obviously advanced shit, make a basic room with these basic trigger sets, all because of the tool set being done for very absolute beginners, because you don't have to worry about, well, what's the operation opcode going to be for a message? It's already generated for you. You don't need to know what the type is, it does it for you. You don't have to worry about any of this. You just have to remember you need to put the floor value in, understand the attach functions to stuff, the export and all that. As long as you understand all the positions and offsets for them, fine. And know which message it's going to be, any special properties you're going to throw at it. It's all completely inside the program. It's all covered with that. It should make things a lot easier. He says, as he carries on trying to mod his own stuff as well, which he'll probably use the tools for anyway, because it'll just generate room stuff much quicker. So yeah, that's the end of... This was just the quickest stream. I just wanted to go over the tool, really. Show it off, considering I've been working on it for God knows how many bloody weeks now. Couple of weeks. It's only taken me best part of 14 years to actually get the code put together as something. So it's there so far as version 0.1, which also reminds me I got those things to do as well. So click on about. Obviously it comes up with a little about thing for what the tool is. Information links will link you to the forums and to the Krem forum wiki, where all the off codes and everything are, and everything else. And exit obviously exits the program. Purges it from your memory. No memory leaks, as far as I know. So yeah, I'm gonna get that error processing done with all the other things. Do a little, a little release for a certain group of people. Let them test it out. Let them tell me what they think, and then tweak it and adjust it, and then obviously throw it out for people to test. And hopefully we'll get a lot more people wanting to mod the games, because it'll be simplified. It won't be... You will need to understand advanced economics and advanced bloody nuclear physics to understand how to write a mod for these games, because it's all in hex code. So I'm going to leave that stream there and go back to coding. And I'll do a stream at some point, probably tomorrow. I'll be doing a proper dev stream, carrying up with guidance stuff potentially. So that's that done. That's this stream done. This is just the showing of the tool. Sort of.